Hi, my name is Adam Smith, and I want to welcome you to my presentation titled Navigation of the Modern Digital World. Three of our main topics we're going to focus on today is miscommunication in the media, specifically how do PR departments function, the implementation of all-in-one products such as Office 365, and social media interaction, specifically how do businesses and an individual benefit and have negative effects from social media. Of course, looking into miscommunication in the media, one of the biggest things to look at is that communication with the public is an absolutely precarious situation. Both businesses and CEOs traditionally don't work well with the public. According to author Kathy Bond of How to Avoid Foot and Mouth Disease, based on her contact with Raymond Wilchin of Norwich Union, that the only way for Norwich Union to ride with bad publicity was to be completely open and honest. What they need to do is focus on that everything they do has a reaction. And I mean, this article is from 1995, so this is a focus that they had to absolutely have, no matter what they do. Of course, another thing we need to take a look at is United Airlines. This is one of the, key textbook examples of bad PR working. When they dragged Dr. David Dow from that plane, Oscar Munoz, CEO of United, responded by releasing a statement saying that he apologized for having to reaccommodate these customers. This was a statement on Twitter. This is like the immediate public backlash from this was ridiculous. I mean, it was. I mean, while he was trying to be polite, the use of the word reaccommodate really sugarcoated the situation. It was indirect and it was avoidant. And of course, coming back to avoiding foot and mouth disease, one wrong move can destroy a reputation. Business leaders must be careful because they might damage a company beyond repair. So with that, what do? These are two quotes that I pulled from that same article by Kathy Bond that I really feel necessitates exactly what I'm trying to put across. Get an objective view. In-house PR functions are important, but another voice is needed, one that's outside company politics. A dispassionate observer, as James Maxwell says. This is basically taking a look at hiring someone who's able to empathize with the public, with the consumer, and able to communicate both from the business and the consumer properly and effectively. And of course, playing up the human interest, targeting hearts, not minds. This is a very political, politician way of looking at it. And they're basically public speakers for most of their lives anyway, so this is actually a really good idea. Of course, with our second point, what we need to do is take a look at handling different forms of digital media. And one of the easiest ways I say to do that is creating functionality of all-in-one programs. Office 365 is probably the biggest one. Things like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, they function well together. But Microsoft also offers access to things like SharePoint, OneDrive, where you're able to send files across different platforms. Access to Outlook and everything integrates with that properly. Access to something like Skype, so you're able to do voice and video calling. All of these together form one package and really help to educate and connect people within an office. I actually have personal experience with this when I'm working at MSU Denver's IT department. Of course, one of the biggest focuses I had for this section was talking about digital divide of email. While it's an older form of digital communication, it's still prevalent within organizational communication. Email on its own may not be sufficient for all forms of communication, but it cannot be understated how useful of a platform this is. Taking a look at the human side of the digital divide, author Kumi Ishii examines the differences between experienced and inexperienced individuals, those who use it for equivocal tasks. Taking a look at something like this, a lot of the data showed that there's a wide range of people using email, from 0 to 122 minutes a day to upwards of 350 messages per day. And this was, as he stated, consistent with prior research, that the results of the study indicated that those who were more experienced with the platform use it more frequently and for more equivocal tasks, specifically using it for not only just formal or informal communication, but also using it to work and finish tasks properly. Of course, you can take a look at this figure. This is the wide range of different communication platforms that people can use. Email, Facebook, website, phone, a newsletter. There's a wide range, and it really is very important to notice that there's different forms of communication. Of course, our final point today is social media usage for both businesses and the individual. With social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, Instagram, all of these different platforms allow for instant communication from a wide range of things, such as I'm able to communicate with my cousins over in England while watching the same video on YouTube, the same anything, and it's pretty instant, and the gratification is great there. Unfortunately, one of the hardest issues to deal with this is individual procrastination, especially in a world with so many distractions. Of course, lack of self-control for these individuals, coupled with trait procrastination, can be detrimental, as this was stated from the Permanently Online and Permanently Procrastinating article from the journal New Media and Society. Those who are likely to procrastinate are likely to suffer in an environment that does not have proper policies in place to standardize social media usage. So, what can you do? Well, of course, one of these authors, Brett Schneider, explained that to the extent to which social media is institutionalized within government organizations via rules and policies influences the degree to which organizations can continually be innovative with social media use. This essentially means that working to create a standards and use social media in a positive way to communicate with your consumer, with the public, will be beneficial and improve total use and total communication and productivity within a company. So, of course, I've explained a few of my recommendations, but these are the top 4 that I would say that we need to look at. And businesses should be implementing something like this. They must work with the public directly. And so they should hire a PR individual or a department to manage how the business is viewed from the outside. It should be someone that's objective, not subjective. And honestly, it'd be great if they can hire a third party for something like this. They should employ that public feedback that they receive and portray themselves to the modern world in a positive light. Implementation of an all-in-one system, such as Microsoft Office 365, will allow for increased connection and communication. This will increase education of the system as communication increases. Of course, social media usage should also be carefully monitored, and if they use the medium, standardizing it in a way can benefit the employee and not detract from their satisfaction with communication and their job and their productivity. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.